Hi everyone. In my previous video about whether we should use privileged personal or privileged shared accounts, after posting that video, I received many great feedbacks and comments, which I'm grateful for. An interesting feedback I would like to raise here was regarding one of my recommendations at the end of the video, that you should always consider both methods, privileged personal and privileged shared, in your PAM strategy. A colleague I met recently in one of the identity conferences said, "Okay, Yaron, so what you're saying is the standard "it depends" answer. Can't you provide some more concrete clues on how to reach a decision?" So here I'll try to be more concise and to share with you 5 considerations which will help you to reach the decision whether to choose personal or shared. First, I'll begin with some facts. In some organizations, shared accounts is not even an option. Some organizations don't allow using shared accounts as a corporate policy. The use of shared accounts may violate your company's governance or regulatory requirements. For example, in general, shared accounts should not be used by individuals to access protected health information, PHI data. That's a common restriction, so you should always check with your management if using shared or generic account is really an option. Second, accountability. When using privileged personal like John Admin, you will have the highest level of auditability. You will see John Admin's audit trails both on the target systems and within your PAM tool, while with shared or generic accounts such as DBA_team or SAP admins, the audit trails will be generic as well. And you will have to correlate the activity which is recorded on the target system with the information you have inside your PAM tool, which is time consuming. That's why you should set expectations with your colleagues regarding the differences in the level of auditability that you will get, and validate what would be acceptable by management. Number 3 is maintenance cost of the whole onboarding process for each type. With privileged personnel, for each individual person, you must create a secondary high privilege account on the target systems if it does not already exist. And of course, you must make sure you give sufficient and list privileges to that account. Obviously, when using AD, you will have it centralized. And then you provision each account into PAM while making sure that every person will have the access only to his or her private assets. While with shared accounts, you group the access of multiple individuals into a single high privilege shared account. This means less operations for the onboarding part and lower costs later on. 4, a very important topic that unfortunately I don't see many customers discuss as important, user experience. We all know that employees hate security programs, and especially with IAM and PAM projects, your employees and specifically your IT guys are the most affected ones. That's why we must make sure that we are not just locking them out and improving our security, but we also ensure that we provide the end users with all the necessary interfaces and set of tools they need to continue doing their job on the day after PAM is deployed. For instance, when doing RDP with a personal account, regardless if it's privileged or not, you log into your personal custom profile and work privately on your tasks. When using shared accounts, you'll have 2 issues. 1, the profile is not private anymore, but shared, and people will have to get along with each other's habits, like leftovers on desktops with log files. 2, only one person can use a specific privilege account at a time, and if it is shared, you'll have to wait in the line. Unless you create multiple shared accounts for the same purpose. How many? Maybe eventually it will be the same as creating multiple personal privilege users, after all. And 5, and this is my last consideration for you, what would be the risk and complexity of rotating those accounts? Let's not forget, we are still required to rotate many credentials of privileged identities of standard and legacy systems. That's why you must take into account that point in time when the password of the privileged identity expires and has to be rotated? How complex would it be? What would be the risk and the impact? Now here, obviously, when using privileged personal, the number of impacted users is lower when something goes wrong. When using shared accounts, a group of people will be affected. So I hope these considerations are more beneficial for you. Still, I would love to have your feedbacks. And if you have questions or want to hear more about these topics, just send me an email, let me know, let's talk. Thank you.